Welcome to Joburg. Today I'm your host, Leroy Viaggio. The race is on in South Africa's new Formula 1 in schools competition with the assistance of Sangari South Africa, which has relaunched the South African stage of this global educational event, which was at one stage under the radar.
I love cars. I'd love to be an engineer.
It's been 3 years since I did Formula 1 at my school when we went to the World Champs in Abu Dhabi.
These may look like toys, and it's not quite the Kyalami racetrack, but fun and games are just part of the F1inSchools technology challenge.
The car that they're designing is in fact a little gas-propelled car that goes across a 25-meter track.
Designing our car and just having sent in our first car for cutting, it's something that's so interesting, something I've never thought I'd do.
F1 gives us that opportunity for our learners to explore science away from class and basically learn in a fun way.
We have broken the 1 second barrier.
That's the biggest challenge now, is to break the 1 second barrier.
We judge them on the scrutineering, which is the size and the technical relations of the car. We judge them on the branding and the team enterprise that they've got. We judge them on the marketing that they've done. We judge them on how well they've used the CAD program. That would be the design and the engineering part of it. And then they have to do a verbal presentation where we judge them on how well they carry themselves as individuals. And finally, the fun part is we judge them on the racing.
The coolest thing I've learned so far is probably the SolidWorks CAD software. It's an awesome program that you can design 3D, whatever you want.
Yeah, the coolest thing was, that we have to always work as sisters. Being as sisters in class, it's hard for us as girls because girls have issues.
I believe that girls, they've got the same potential as boys and they can do the same stuff. And I made them join the competition so that they can feel and believe that they can do it and go as far as possible.
At the South African relaunch, it was reiterated that challenges are guaranteed.
Probably trying to get the CAD system working, and also the aerodynamics of the car has been quite a challenge to get right.
The biggest challenge was that we didn't know how to use computers, and we didn't know how to use them and what was teamwork actually.
We're using software we've never seen before. We're looking at rules we've never thought we'd look at. So it's a learn as you go and just apply as much as you can.
Seeing the kids grow is actually why I'm doing it. I love to see the kids work together and sort of challenge. And there's a bit of competition, which is always good for kids. And I can't wait to see what they can do in the first challenge that they have this year.
A series of races will decide the South African champion representing the country in the World Championships next year. Marisa de Klerk, Joburg Today.
Like us on Facebook, that's JoburgToday.tv. Follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. Now, while some people go through life with the idea that there's no such thing as a free meal, other people are actually challenging that. Even Me is an online platform designed to assist the youth gain access to not only education, but networking resources. Absolutely free.
Gavin, Joel, big welcome to Joburg Today. What a pleasure to meet you, to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure. We want to talk about Even Me, this youth online platform that you've developed. Take us back to the early days. What motivated you to create this?
A couple of years ago, I was retrenched and opened my own business. And obviously being an entrepreneur and having no experience, I needed to find that hand that held me through the process. And online, there are a lot of things out there, but nothing that was appropriate for me at the time, and nothing that didn't assume that I was already at a certain level. And I struggled through that process, and at one other point said to Gavin, we need to do something to be able to help others. If we're struggling like this, let us design something that we can help other people with. And so Even Me was born.
Very inspirational. So Gavin, this was developed primarily to help people. So
Correct.
you're not deriving any revenue from it. What has been the uptake so far?
So the uptake has been phenomenal. We launched in December last year, so it's 6-7 months now. We've had over 40,000 people visit the site, and we've got around about 3,500-4,000 people actually registered.
Mm-hmm. So only the youth can be part of this?
Not really. We target the youth, basically the youth coming out of school and the youth trying to find work. But there's a massive entrepreneurial element to the program, and entrepreneurship you can't put an age on.
It's very exciting because we know that we need jobs in this country.
Absolutely.
And especially amongst the youth. So tell me exactly, what are you offering them?
Okay,
what kind of services are you offering them?
Okay, so can we take you one step back in terms of, I know we need jobs.
Yeah.
There are jobs out there. We need skilled youth that are going to uptake the jobs. And what we're doing with Even Me is upskilling the youth where the government has failed them in the schooling system. So we're talking about life skills, and we're talking about skills that allow them to be better versions of themselves, to be able to be more employable in the market. So the things that we are offering them are online courses. There's a lot of e-learning, digital learning. There are tips and advice across the board, from leaving school and going into varsity, leaving school, going to work, out of varsity, into work, and across the board as an entrepreneur. So it's tips and advice, it's motivational talks. We've got ambassadors that speak to the youth, so the youth is actually speaking to the youth, and it's experiential. So this is how we did it. These are examples of how you can do it.
And of course, there's a great networking opportunity in here for the youth as well.
Absolutely.
Give us a sense of the extensive partnership agreements that you had to put together to bring in services to offer the youth.
Yeah, I mean, we've had numerous discussions with a number of partners that have actually decided to walk this journey with us. So we've got guys like Microsoft that have come on board. We've got CPS Technologies and Star Schools that have come on board. And really, we are building an ecosystem of partners. So we realize that we're not the experts and we can't do everything. But in order to offer our audience sort of an end-to-end type experience, it's important that we actually have this relevant partnership. So the ecosystem approach is very key for us.
What is the cost for someone to subscribe to the service?
It's actually free. Absolutely nothing.
Or perhaps the other services that are linked to the platform, so you don't pay anything for mentoring, for example?
Nothing.
You don't pay anything for any of the subjects that you want to cover online?
Nothing.
That is absolutely fantastic, guys. That is
so there is such a thing as a free lunch.
Yes, yeah, there is such a thing as a... Okay, well, we missed out on that in our youth.
Hey, what up? This is Boots, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Well, that's it for today's show, but if you want to know more about what's happening in and around Johannesburg, check out our playlist. Well, for me, Leroy, and the guys behind the scenes, till next time.